It's time for the Wynonna Earp After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. We are talking Season 3, Episode 10, The Other Woman. We got to talk about Maeve. We got to talk about Kevin. We got a lot to talk about. Stick around.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello and welcome to the Wynonna Earp After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. We are so excited that you are here to join us. Let's get through who we are quick because I'm so excited. I'm Yael Tygiel. That's Kari Lane. That's Amber Plaster. We have a very special guest joining us.
Yeah, we do.
We have Doc himself. Woo! Tim Rozon is here. Woo! Hello, Tim.
You can see me?
We can see you.
Okay. Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for joining us. We love having you here. Mm-hmm. Let's jump into this episode. Let's think. What did you guys think of this episode generally? Amber, where were you at?
There was a lot of information happening at me this episode, and I feel like it deserves a rewatch. But Kevin?
Yes.
It's just such a great name. My brother's name is Kevin. And so when she came out with that, I was like, okay, clearly I don't know if this, like, maybe Tim can tell us, but I don't know if maybe the writers had a significance behind the name Kevin, or if it was just to make us laugh.
I believe there isn't someone Kevin was named after. Is that not true, Tim?
I'm pretty sure it's Kevin, Bachelor of Tales of the Black Badge, who's been one of the pivotal fans and one of the first Earpers maybe ever. And it's kind of Emily's nod to everything that he has done for our show over the past 3-4 years. And he's a big Lost Girl fan, and I think that's why.
I've heard this rumor too.
But
that's awesome.
I could be wrong, but that's what I'm pretty sure it is. That's why I tweeted at him on Friday night saying this is a big night for Kevin.
That's a cool story. Let's just start that rumor, even if it's
I
not
mean,
true.
that rumor is going around. That's the rumor I heard.
I'm pretty sure it's not a rumor, but I don't know. It should always come from Emily because I could be wrong.
All right. Kari, what'd you think?
I enjoyed this one, and it was fun. I've watched some of Lost Girl, so I was like, hey, it's Beau, but Kevin. So that was fun, and to see these two powerful women together, Wynonna and Kevin, and the development with Waverly, and also Jeremy, not pure human, air quotes.
Oh, we'll get to this.
Yes. Also want to add real quick, we have a live chat. If you have any special questions for our special guest, please add that there. And if you're watching later, comment down below.
Yes, thank you. I forgot about the audience because we have Tim here. So
we're just that excited.
Yeah, I also really enjoyed this episode. I like the information coming at us. I was a huge Lost Girl fan. It was one of the first times I felt represented on TV. Wow. That's right, I'm a succubus. And I really, loved seeing Anna Silk appear, and I really loved this character of hers.
Character's great.
And we will get into Kevin and everything that she told us. But first, let's talk about Maeve. Let's talk about Maeve. Maeve the Fire Witch. Amber, you look confused.
I literally had to go, who's Maeve? Because that's how much information I had to learn this episode, but it's fine. So Doc knows everyone. Can we just talk about that? They turn over a photo and they're like, Maeve, and they're like, I know who we should ask. Doc, because he gets messed up in everything. And sure enough, he did. So I don't really know what your character's been getting into, Tim, but the fact that you know a witch is not surprising to me.
I knew her sister.
Oh, okay.
So I had only heard about her. Her sister was the one from season 1 who came back in season 2 on the trophy, who made the thing, and the trophy sent us back in the world. That's Maeve's sister.
Oh, okay.
So the other witch, they're related. Not the Stone Witch.
Not the Stone Witch.
But not the Stone Witch.
The other witch.
The other witch, correct.
The Teenage Ghost Witch.
Well, no, that's the sister.
The sister, yeah. Sister of the Teenage Ghost Witch.
So many witches. I
like this one in the chat. ABK88 says, Doc must have been the phone book, Facebook back in the day.
I can see that.
You were the phone book for everybody.
Purgatory was it was small.
Yeah.
I mean, Doc points out that, people don't leave. The families are staying.
Doc Stash in the chat says Doc Holliday should have an advice column, Ask Doc.
Yeah, because he's full of good advice.
Yes.
I don't know how
Because he
well that
knows
would work.
everybody.
I wouldn't take his advice.
So
Now, I was a little bit confused, though, because at the beginning of the episode, the woman taking notes with Juan Carlo is supposed to be the fire witch?
is Maeve, yes.
Which I didn't think it was quick, but I was like, I thought she was older. And then he's like, she's a teenager.
Back in the day, teenagers dressed like old ladies.
No, but it was interesting. She seemed way
hold
younger.
Oh.
I think the first lady at the beginning was the Stone Witch.
Was her sister.
No,
No, the Stone Witch.
Stone Witch.
Okay.
I see.
Then that
The
makes more
one
sense.
sitting there
'cause
taking notes in the
Yeah,
diary?
at the very beginning, I thought, like, the person who's with Juan Carlo at the beginning and jot that down, have the book, blah, blah, blah. I thought that was supposed to be the fire, and then I'm like, no, because the fire, they said, is a teenager, and that woman was not a teenager.
Well, either way, the Fire Witch is the sister.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
she wasn't pictured in the cold
So
open.
Bobo remembers that there's a book, and we
Yes.
see in the flashback Juan Carlo, and he's holding a sword, and he says, "We got to get Peacemaker to Wyatt." But he's
Thought it was a
holding
big dagger.
right,
Yeah.
a big old pointy
Big
metal
knife.
thing.
Okay.
There you go.
I wonder if maybe Peacemaker was later formed from this sword or dagger.
I like seeing Tim smiling.
Did Peacemaker have different iterations through different generations, we think?
For those on the
you go.
podcast, he has
Yay.
ducked out of frame. So that's an interesting factoid right there. Yeah, something interesting to
I
keep
think
an eye
that's
on.
interesting.
I think that will come back into play.
Yeah.
We find out Doc and Nicole go to visit the Fire Witch's home. I really love the description of who Maeve was, that she helped women with women things,
That was pretty great.
and that she was then eventually burned at the stake.
Like you do.
Yeah.
Right, as one does. And then there's this real quick little moment, and I know that Twitter was going crazy for it, where she says to Doc, "You're Wyatt Earp's boyfriend."
Love that line. Chat like that line, too.
Everyone liked that line. Can we hear a little bit more about what it was like for Doc and Wyatt? Because they were lovers.
I think the teenage witch was making a joke, guys.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Doc kind of had a moment going,
No.
Yeah,
well, yeah.
I think because the teenage witch didn't know them, I think she assumed and was like poking fun at them. And I think Doc did a good job of being like, yeah, I'm an idiot. Yeah, give me what I want. Like, that's what I thought that moment was.
Why do you have to ruin my dreams?
Because he's not proven to be gay anywhere else on the show.
We never said he was gay.
We
Just bi.
happy Bi Visibility Day, everyone.
All right.
All right, let's move on.
Moving on.
So Maeve is locked in the fire for eternity, but she needs to possess a body. This is where things get complicated. We get this really amazing scene where Kat is portraying Nicole possessed by a teenage girl.
love
That was
that
very
scene.
fun.
Can you tell us about filming that scene a little bit? Because that looked so fun.
Well, it was like a reunion for me and Kat, because like technically the only other time we really spent any time together was in Africa, because we didn't have too many scenes together so far, season 3, and we got Varun, and Varun's my buddy, so that was a good day. And then it was like a crazy day because it was all that crazy stuff was happening, and Varun and I had no idea what Kat was gonna do, it was pretty awesome to watch her, I'll tell you that. And she ate that paper. She tried to swallow the paper. She went pretty crazy. She went pretty crazy. So that's why when it kind of jumped in Varun, and he went kind of, pretty balls to the wall for a second before it jumped back into Hot. He had already seen Kat go pretty crazy. So I think he was inspired to go crazier. But yeah, it was fun, and that was April Mullen, so it was super fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching that scene. I like the idea. It to bring it to Lost Girl very much reminds me of the episode where everyone gets turned into, or some of them get turned into like teenage versions of themselves, and it's just really fun to see grown-ass people acting like dumb kids. Always a fun time.
Well, I bet it's also fun for an actor, too. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like, get to change up what you're normally doing.
She brought it in that scene.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
When Maeve's exploring Nicole's boobs, that was
Yes.
also really fun.
I missed that part.
Yeah, I liked that the boys covered each other's eyes.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that was not scripted. It just happened in that moment.
Oh, really?
And it was literally both of us covered each other's eyes at the same time. So that was it honestly just happened like that. And then April loved it, and we kept it for the rest of the scene.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Nice.
It really this cast is so close. They're so adorable.
And so
Yeah, well, I
similar.
it just goes to show how much the characters kind of respect each other in that moment, because it's like in that moment we were both like, whoa, you know.
Yeah.
we both were kind of like, that's Waverly's, you know, like you were just like, "No."
But it worked really good. It worked really.
It was beautiful. So the book turns out to be hidden in the fireplace. And we have this weird moment where Maeve threatens to kill Nicole. Doc points out very wisely that what is the point of a body with a hole in its head? It's so silly. It's like Maeve wasn't even thinking.
Yes.
And she then's like, screw it, and sets the place on fire. Did we think that was her thinking, if I set the place on fire, more bodies come?
Oh, I don't think she thought that through. I think she was just very angry that she lost a body, and I think she was panicking and she didn't want to be in the fire anymore, so her only power move left was to
Burn
hurt
them?
people. I don't think she thought it through.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go, she's a teenager that, fine, I'm not getting my way, screw you all.
Okay.
Well, also on the day, like, don't forget, we have no idea what's going on, but I don't know what they were thinking. Maybe there was going to be special effects, but they were like, it's a fire thing coming out of the fireplace, and it moves around. It was just Kat ended up acting so good. I don't think they needed special effects. But at first, there was supposed to be some sort of presence of a fire witchy thing that did.
Interesting. Look at us learning all the stuff.
I'm glad we didn't, because I find effects like that to be really distracting. And I was very clear that she had been possessed from the second that she turned around from the fireplace. So I appreciate that they didn't have to do that. That was
Yeah, no, I think it was something about the actual fire. I can't remember. I do know that it's oddly enough that looks like it would be a set because it was inside, but it wasn't. And that was actually one of the functioning sets we shoot at that are like up at this little western town. So it was actually still freezing that day. Because if you're on if we're on location, it's cold. And so whenever we're inside, like shorties or stuff, that's like a studio. So, but that studio was not a studio. It was it was a real building place.
Oh, wow.
It looked really cute.
Yeah.
Cute little cabin.
I think it worked out really well. And so Charlie saves Doc only to be eaten by Doc.
Before we ask Doc, why do we think that happened?
I mean, he was hungry, right? Earlier he gets a bag of blood and it's not a lot. So he's been starving.
It doesn't seem like he finished it, though. I'm like, can you take a moment and finish that before you leave?
Right, like take the brown bag off of it.
Take it with you.
I mean,
Pour it in a water bottle. Be like a teenager.
that is a human that is in between the love of his life and him.
So you thought it was a personal move.
I mean, if it was me, it would be.
Okay.
Because he didn't seem out of control, because he was like, oh, thank you for saving me. And like, something switched.
So there's...
I thought
Yes. Go.
it was either Maeve using him, but then she said she wanted a fresh body. So either she used him and went to Charlie, but with the later scene with him and Nicole, I'm like, well, maybe not, but not for sure.
Right. So I
I
also...
don't think she could get into a vampire.
That was my thought also, right? So since we've seen that Maeve could get into Jeremy, who we now discover is not purely human, which is a whole other conversation.
But is not undead.
But is not undead. I thought she didn't make it clear that she couldn't get into the vampire body. She just didn't want to. So I thought maybe...
I thought it was clear she couldn't, because she was like, she was...
No, she permanently she wanted a fresh one.
Okay.
I think she could be in Doc temporarily.
I really
We're
like us
loving all your
talking...
smiles
I
there.
also enjoy us talking about a girl being in somebody.
Yeah.
Real liking that.
No.
Okay.
But so I that's why when the fire happened, my thought was maybe her thought was, well, I got to get out of here. I'm gonna hitchhike in Doc until another body appears. She convinced him to suck Charlie's blood. And now I still don't believe that she's not in Charlie. But
yeah, I thought it would be more likely that she would be inside Charlie, or I really thought Charlie would just turn.
well, let's take it to the smiling our smiley friend. What you got?
I can't confirm or deny any of these things, guys. I do believe Maeve said that she could not go into Doc Holliday's body.
Okay.
I thought so too.
All right.
I do believe she said that, so I think Maeve possibly burned herself up in that fire.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But then
So
the smile.
leaves to the question of why we had a smiling Doc Holliday leaving the scene,
Thank
knowing
you.
that he killed Wynonna Earp's new boyfriend.
I was gonna say competition.
Competition's the word you're looking
Well,
for. He
I
doesn't
don't know. Interesting, no? I thought up to this point he loved her, and then he killed this guy, and Hot told him that she's done with him, and everyone else is already done with him. So you think he'd be sad about it, but he's smiling.
Mm.
I don't think he's possessed by a demon. So
I think he knows more than he's letting on, Doc. And I think that maybe because he's the one who saved the book, maybe he knew what was in it.
I think we're done with that book.
Ah,
Uh-huh.
okay.
I think we might be on to a new phase of our lives, guys.
I don't know what that means and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
Aurora O'Connor says next week we'll find out why Tim is smiling.
Okay, good.
Hopefully.
Well, next week we have 2 episodes.
Yeah.
We have the penultimate and the finale.
Yes.
Yes.
I
It's okay, you can tell us.
guess it's better to ask forgiveness than permission.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There's only so much forgiveness I feel like I can ask for, but yeah.
Okay.
That's it? That's what we're getting? Great.
Well, then I got a question. How is that scene filming with Doc and Nicole when she's crying over Charlie? Which, I mean, I get why she's emotional, but I kind of was like, wow, she's very sensitive to this situation. But then when she goes, I was in charge of watching you,
Yeah.
then it's more on her the
her
responsibility
job.
that Charlie died. That I go, oh, okay. Because at first I'm like, I didn't think they really had that much of a connection. That, yes, of course she'd be upset somebody died.
Yeah, somebody died.
But still, like, I don't think she'd be, you know, it's not like everybody's bawling their eyes out when other people have died right away. So,
But it was like somebody, I understood right as you were saying that someone died on her watch.
Yeah, it was her
She's
job.
young, she's trying to prove herself, and I'm sure she's gotten in trouble for covering for the Earps many times before.
yeah. So how was that scene, doing that scene with Kat?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think she says in the bar that, or she tells Waverly before she goes to get me that I'm I'm her last, you know what I mean? He's the last person that's gonna put up with me. So I think at the end there, she's kind of like, she feels like now she's been betrayed by me too. Kind of like she stuck up for me and now I've betrayed her and she's had it. And not only that, but I murdered Wynonna Earp's new boyfriend. It's not a good scene. And I think she knows that, and nobody wants to deal with Wynonna like that either. So I think she's heartbroken and she's disappointed in Doc. And so it was heartbreaking to film, and I was sad. Only knowing that I was about to be very happy, which is an interesting dynamic. But, you know, and plus I had those freaking teeth in my mouth, so it's like I'm trying to be like, you know, but I'm because I got the teeth in my mouth, but I can't talk with the teeth, which you can't really see those freaking teeth because of my mustache anyway, so I never really should have put them in, and I could have spoke more coherently, but it was difficult because I just looked down and Kat was so disappointed Well, Hot was. And Cat was, because we don't know where the scripts are going. And I look over in the back and Jeremy's there and he's already hates me, and then he's disappointed and he's looking at me like I can't believe it, because he kind of forgave Doc a little bit in the banter of for a second. He kind of forgave him in the house when they were dealing with the Maeve situation, because he hated me so much, or he was so disappointed in me the episode before. And then he saw that, so he was even like more heartbroken. I think Jeremy's just done with Doc, and so is Hot, and definitely Wynonna's going to be pretty pissed off. That's for sure, when she finds out I killed her boyfriend. That's not
Yes.
gonna go
Wait, I just need to correct this terminology about Charlie. He is Doc's baby mama's thing. Like, he is not her boyfriend. They went on a date. They like to screw around. We can't keep calling him that. He wanted a "where are we" conversation, and she's like, "End of the world, I don't have time for you."
Yeah.
That's not a boyfriend.
Yeah, he was a plan B.
Yeah.
He was a, "I can't deal with Doc right now, so I'm going to screw the hot fireman."
But she is going to be pissed.
Yes.
Quick, interesting thing off this that Tim, curious on your thoughts. Millie in the chat says he's working with Bulshar because of the deal he made. He's purposely turned all of them against him.
Oh, he's white-fanging them.
I was like, oh.
It's interesting that you thought that. I, for a second, thought that maybe Charlie, because we have not trusted Charlie this entire time. So maybe the smile was that he drank his blood and was like, oh, he's not human. He's terrible. So that was my thought. But I like this Bulshar theory.
And then with Jeremy, real quick, too, Bryce23 says, is Jeremy taking that doll's demon cocktail? And then somebody else was saying maybe Jeremy is similar to Waverly, of like half human, half something else.
Interesting
That's
theories.
Renji. Yep.
All interesting theories. And sadly, I know that Tim can't tell us anything, but I want to say thank you to Tim so much for joining us this evening. Yeah. We know that it is late, and we very much appreciate you being here. We still have so much more to talk about. Thank you, Tim. Do you want to remind everyone where they can find you on the socials? Because you are very popular on the Twitters.
On the Twitter, I am the real Tim Rozon, not the fake Tim Rozon.
There's a fake one.
And is there any, besides obviously Wynonna, is there any other projects you're working on you want to let us know about or be on the lookout for?
Yeah, right now that's what I'm doing. I'm in Eastern Canada filming a new show called Digstown that will be on CBC in the winter. And it should be pretty cool. But before I go, I just want to say also that I really loved Anna Silk on my TV again, and I thought she killed it. And Melanie Scrofano is my favorite, and it was good to see someone who had as much presence as Wynonna, as Melanie on screen. I loved those scenes between Anna and Mel. It was amazing, and that'd be a good show if the two of them are on that together.
Oh,
I
I
would watch
agree.
it.
Especially if we could get Anna back in bow outfits.
Yes.
I didn't like her all covered up. That's just my preference, though.
Well, if she's on Wynonna Earp long enough, I'm sure they'll find a way.
Wynonna was in a real bow outfit when Kevin and Wynonna met.
Yeah. I loved it. It was great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tim. It was great chatting with you. You can't
Thank
see that we're
you.
waving. Good night.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
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 All right. Before we move on to the Kevin storyline,
Yes.
why don't we take a moment, to thank
Sorry,
our fans.
Well, this is with the fans. SPR says Jeremy said he was experimented on too, like dolls in season 2, I believe. Interesting.
That was my
Also, the chat says thank you,
to
Tim.
But that was my theory.
Thank you,
that.
chat.
Excellent. I'm going to thank everyone else. Thank you, everybody. Yay! So, hey, AfterBuzzers, our network produces after shows for nearly all your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, that's where we live, and more. There's no network that works harder to serve television fans, but we need your help. We're asking you, please subscribe to one or more of our channels on YouTube. I suggest sci-fi. I also am going to personally suggest drama. Other channels you're on? Sci-fi, fantasy, animated.
Animation, yes.
I'm always sci-fi.
Yeah. So check those out. By subscribing to our channels, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. If you're worried about pesky notifications, don't be, because they are optional. Hit the subscribe button now for this channel. Check out our other channels after our after show, and let us know in the comments. We love reading comments. There have been amazing theories going on. I've been following all of them since the last few weeks.
I go back. I comment. Yeah.
Yes. So we love hearing from you in the comments, and thank you for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk.
Yeah.
We are also on iTunes. If you're on iTunes, please subscribe. For our audio listeners, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you like us, you can give us 5 stars. If you don't like us, you can give us 4 stars. Other stars, I broke them. I'm not fixing them. If you do give us 4 stars, please comment as to what we could do better. Is it Yael? Stop talking about everyone being shirtless. I will work on that.
She said.
No, don't stop. Yeah.
She said with a very fake smile.
I
Also,
believed
reminded
it.
there is a Earpers for Life Facebook group, so y'all can continue the discussion there too. Then, Bam Lover says, I love the line about wishing she could make people do what she wants. So back to Kevin. And then Ring King says, I, for some reason, trust Charlie more than Kevin. No women love Silk, who's playing her, but still, I think Charlie isn't dead, but isn't a bad guy.
Interesting. So let's talk about Kevin real quick. So Kevin represents a long line of ambassadors tasked with with looking after the balance in the world. That was her description of her job. What? Anyone?
Watchers has been in other things, that concept.
Yeah, yes. I definitely was like, Fringe? Are you the observers? No Fringe fans? Okay.
Yeah, no. I was going to say, I'm like, Buffy, kind of.
Yeah, we observe and record.
Yeah.
We don't participate.
I was like, it's in a lot of different things. But it's definitely out of the blue, and they trusted her pretty quickly. But as Wynonna makes a point, it's like, well, we have no other options,
What
so
choice do they
why
have?
not? Yeah, it's kind of the Hail Mary.
And to be fair, she did know that there was an arm in the mine.
Yes.
We did get the arm. It is Bolshar's arm. It was controlled by the ring. So, like, it's, yes.
And then also, technically, she said, get the arm and make some, like, synthesize a weapon. So it wasn't literally the arm. So when Wynonna and Waverly were like, oh my gosh, it's the arm. And well, she literally told you it's not the arm. You're going to make a weapon from it.
Right.
Yeah, but they were excited about succeeding in their
That's
mission
Yeah.
But they were upset.
without Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with both of you. So we meet One-Armed Clint, who's a radioactive revenant. He's got a toxic hand. We get to see Mercedes.
Yes.
And her
looking
beautiful
fabulous.
face.
Man, it's just such a tie between this ghost witch performance and Mercedes and Mauve, okay, and then Maeve, and then
Not the color.
not the color, the Western name,
Sure.
and Kevin. Like, there's just so many fun female guests in this episode that I just like couldn't pick one. The MVP is going to be hard for this episode.
Also, a couple things on Kevin. One, Shauna Potts says, also, can we talk about Kevin talks about Eve as if she knows her, ... Yes. And Aurora says, also, Kevin said she was annoyed by the men in control, which was an entertaining comment on the patriarchy.
I love it, and I really hope that whole, I came up to do this because I'm sick of the guys and we're going to do this. I hope that plays into something and wasn't just by the way, we're big feminists here at the show. Because we know that this show is full of feminists.
Agreed.
And that's wonderful. I want it to be part of something. I want it to turn out that there are these men watchers who are letting things fall apart.
Yeah.
You know what I
So
mean?
because
far,
even
the show's done a good job with that.
Yeah. Wynonna's the first, female heir in this way doing so well. So also that was Kevin I'm rooting for you. We need to prove that the girls can do it as well.
Yeah, but she was rooting for them but assumed they would die.
Yeah. She was not the most supportive cheerleader on the side.
I loved her.
It was very fun.
I really would love to see this character return.
Kevin seems like she's seen a lot happen and fail. So I think she's just very jaded at this point. I think she's probably not human. I think she's been alive for a very long time.
Right.
She might even be an angel or something since she knew Eve. Or maybe it's just so familiar with
Eve.
her in a psychic way or something like that. But I get a very she used to be powerful and now she's not, because she said oh, I wish I could make people do things almost as if she has relied upon that skill in the past.
Oh, I took it as I've never been able to. That's not something I'm allowed. Like I'm not capable of.
So maybe she's just like, I'm always the smartest person in the room. If only I could make you idiot heroes
Right.
do the
Yeah.
thing. Okay, I could see that too.
Right, like it's against her duties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Though that makes me think like, ooh, this is her chance to get back up in the ranks. Because that's also a common
Ooh,
theme. Like, you need to get your champion higher, and then that gets you back up again.
I can see that.
Maybe. I mean, the Eve thing. It might have been that Eve was the first woman that they were like, we're going to give her a chance, and,
Yeah.
and now she's seen as having messed up,
Yeah.
and so like women can't do it. So this is her chance to prove that a woman can.
Could be.
Maybe. All amazing theories.
I don't know that we have a motivation for Kevin yet, but I do hope that she comes back and tells us more.
Yeah, because she's very knowledgeable.
Oh, Sabra says, I was a bit worried that Kevin's feminist comments were just a manipulative way to get the Earp women on her side. I trust her about as far as I can throw her, and I'm not strong.
I don't think she's asking to be trusted. I think she showed up and was like,
Yeah.
I'm neutral. I'm not your friend.
Right.
True.
But, I mean, she says Waverly is the one, the champion. She's the only thing standing between humanity and annihilation. So it seems like she's not that neutral. She kind of is on the side of humanity.
Okay, but
side.
I think we all disagree with that because Julian is full angel and looks like he's showing up at the end of the episode.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
they made a point to be like,
It's so
full
bright at
winter.
9 p.m.
Yeah.
Interesting that that's
And
where you all took
And
it.
Mama Earp went looking for him, so like the fact that he shows up is not like impossible for the season.
Though it was really bright over where Mercedes is, and I don't think their houses are that close together that the brightness would be like everywhere.
Yeah, so I didn't take the brightness
But I
as
thought
there's
it-
something bright out there. I took it as something's going on celestially,
Okay, I
right?
can
Because
see
we're
that.
looking for the next
Yeah.
day, which is going to be the moon. I wrote it. The something moon. The moon?
The eclipse moon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Blood moon?
Blood moon.
Yeah,
eclipse.
yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
I wrote
Well,
it.
I at first thought it was someone outside the door as well because it was bright there. But then when we go to Mercedes and it's bright there as well, I was
Right.
like, ooh,
And then
that
she gets
doesn't feel like
grabbed.
the suit.
Did you think that the person who grabbed her was Julian? No,
Some
No.
people in the chat had suggested it's Doc.
that grabbed her.
Yeah.
And also, why would Julian go to Mercedes?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You
So-
all brought in Julian. I didn't think he was
Or
there.
somebody else
I'm just
unrelated.
saying that I'll save it for
Blood
predictions.
moon, yes.
Okay.
Thank
I'll
you,
save it.
Elizabeth, in the
Thanks,
chat.
everybody. Okay, let's talk about all the things that we know.
Okay.
Okay, so
This is our recap.
This
though.
is
We
this
need
is
a
what we
recap.
know. I loved that.
I also love that Bobo, we don't know if you're a good guy or a bad guy. Yes! That
He points out
was so funny.
that the saxophone is the devil's horn.
Yes.
He does bring that point up. And
That humans make beautiful things.
yeah.
Such a well-delivered line.
I don't know where to stand on Bobo, but let's discuss.
Oh, I can help you. He's not good, and he's not bad.
Great.
He's mine.
I see.
Just so we're clear.
Okay, so we know from the beginning there's a very quick discussion about trees. There's the tree of life, the tree of knowledge. There are two trees. This is a common theme amongst things. That's what I have under
Bringing
trees.
back the trees from
Yes. Yes.
earlier episodes.
Okay, so the ring, Bolshar stole it from Julian. Julian was one of two angels that were tasked with protecting the garden, the other angel being Juan Carlo. Love that. Waverly is to take the place on her father's throne and seal the garden, which will turn her to stone. So, the
Which
solu-
someone said Julian is the stone statue that's in the garden right now.
Interesting.
I could see that.
Well, okay. My question is that Kevin going literally, if she sits on the throne, problem solved? Is that what she's saying? Because we're still missing the other angel. Right? There's no second angel to sit on Juan Carlo's throne. Or is Julian the other angel and she's essentially coming and sitting on his throne and then Julian will sit on Juan Carlo's throne?
I don't
Do
know.
they both need a throne?
I mean, there
I
two
don't
of them
know
were
that
there
Kevin
to protect.
knows.
Task, yeah. Well, she said this isn't precedent to have the half angel too, so maybe doesn't really know what
Okay.
they need to do. Which also maybe she won't get turned to stone because she's not full angel.
Right.
Ooh, I
It
like
was just
that.
interesting the way that she presented it as, okay, we've found the person, the ring, she can control it, therefore, problem solved, Bolshar's dealt with if you sit on the throne.
I feel a lot from her description is missing.
Yeah, I also felt like the whole
Yes.
rest of it, like,
Like Wynonna
getting
goes,
there.
more details,
Yeah.
more details. So
What will
then what
happen?
happens?
She'll save us. And then,
Yeah, tell us more.
okay, Bulshar was created in the garden. We found out that he is perhaps, very likely, the snake himself.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
And that's now I see where my note is.
He does look Voldemort-y.
The blood eclipse, which is visible every 120 years or so, is tomorrow. So I took the like it's so bright out as because the eclipse is tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Oh, thank
and I did
you.
not consider that.
A few people are pointing out in the chat that Waverly is the stone statue in the credits.
Oh, stupid credits. Everyone stop looking at the credits. Stop it.
No, like the opening theme song.
Yeah, no,
credits.
I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Because also they were like, people in trees. And I was like, stop. Because I didn't,
Ooh.
I listened to the song with my eyes closed. So I don't catch the credits, everybody.
Wow.
Okay, that's what we know. It sounds like we want to head into predictions. But before we do that, who do you think the MVP of the week is? Because we have a lot of important people.
MVP of the week.
Thank you. I forgot about that. I forget every week. Okay.
MVP. Oh man, that's hard. I feel like there's some. Okay, my gut is saying Officer Hot for her performance as the teenage ghost witch. That was the most fun I've had watching someone act in maybe the last time I can remember. It was just fun to watch that scene. I didn't know what was going to happen. And like hearing from Tim that they didn't know what was going to happen and they kept so much of the improv was really cool for me. I don't really know if that character helped a whole lot this episode, so I feel like I can easily be overruled, but that was just my favorite part of this episode.
Okay. Carrie?
I agree with that one. That's the first thing that came to my mind is not necessarily the character, but the performance of that character. Because normally Officer Hot, which we've developed in a previous episode, that her problem is she needs to loosen up a little bit. Like Wynonna's way too out of control and Officer Hot's a little too reserved. So this was so fun to see her be a little more wild and crazy and have so much energy. And yeah, it was just a very fun scene to watch.
Okay. I definitely think on the actor side, the MVP, Kat, 100%. I think in terms of plot and characters, I'm going with Waverly. I know that the
Yeah, I
previous
was like,
2 weeks.
again?
No, I did not
Yeah.
pick Waverly, but the
Not
previous
last
2
week,
weeks,
the previous 2 weeks.
Yeah.
the fans have always wanted Waverly.
She should, but I mean, she's
I
starting to
didn't-
she's
she
starting to
wasn't
utilize
my
the
vote
ring.
Before it was Kate, and then last week
That's
it
true.
was somebody else. But this time I'm agreeing with the chat.
All right,
Waverly.
we'll give it to Waverly this time.
But you both are thinking. So
Well, but I think mine is for the actor, so it's not
I
fair.
see. All right. I was also kind of torn about Kevin.
I was like, Kevin's pretty awesome too.
No, because Kevin hasn't done anything yet. Kevin has just shown up and been amazing.
Oh.
But there's going to be an arc with Kevin that we're going to get to see where Kevin's going to get to do things, and I
hope
think
so.
that's when we're going to give Kevin the MVP. Because right now it's just all information with Kevin.
Okay.
Aurora O'Connor says Earpers for Life polls have Nicole as a regular cast MVP and guest MVP as Mercedes. She was very entertained this episode too, even though it was a small part and she didn't really do anything for the plot. Like we have a radioactivity and well then come on in. Like she was also very captivating on screen.
Yes, I also really enjoyed that. I don't get it. There isn't even a diamond.
I really like her energy a lot, and I would have her as a tertiary character throughout this series and not even be mad. Even if they didn't explain it, I would have her character.
Well, when we first met Mercedes, I said, yes, Wynonna has a best friend now, and I love it. And then they went and took her face off. So I really appreciate that she's back with a face. And if she ends up being murdered by whoever took her, I'm going to be real mad.
It'll be a bummer.
All right, let's head into predictions.
Oh, sorry. Good point. Alex McLeod says, saddest part of this is that Wynonna didn't get to see Nicole being possessed. She would have had a blast teasing her about it.
Oh, yeah.
Good point.
That's true.
That would be pretty
That's
funny.
true. The hot that she gets back is Doc did something terrible hot, and that's not a fun hot to be with.
No.
All right, predictions. Next week, 2 episodes and the season finale. Here is what is in the trailer. Waverly is at the stairs to save humanity. Doc is talking to Kate. He worries that he can't be loved with who he's become. She points out that he did it for her. And Bulshar offers Kate a job. I believe we saw a trailer from just the first part. That is my thought. that we did not see anything from the second episode.
I don't think we saw anything.
Yeah, I felt this told us a lot of everything and absolutely nothing. And also Waverly's behavior at the staircase is weird.
Yes.
There's something off about it. And I'm like, I don't know if that means she gets possessed or something, because that's not how she normally acts.
Yes, I agree. Any predictions for the season finale?
Renji says, I feel like Mercedes is going to be sacrificed. If that happens, I'm going to be pissed.
Interesting.
Shauna Potts says, Waverly won't talk to Nicole about the fact she needs to be sacrificed.
Oh, of course
Needs to
not.
sacrifice herself, yeah. Elizabeth says, I think Waverly does sacrifice herself, but they figure out a way to bring her back.
So
I would go with that.
I originally thought that she would go and turn to stone because that is what Kevin told us. And now I really like the idea. I think Amber brought it up that because she's only half angel. You brought it up. Sorry, Kari. I think that maybe we think she's going to turn to stone, and maybe she does, but then she Agents of Shields it and like scuffs
I was
off.
thinking that too.
Right?
Just,
You know-
they're chrysalis, yeah.
Yes, you know what image I'm
Yeah.
thinking. So like maybe because she's only half angel.
Yeah,
So like
the
she
Inhumans.
can, yeah.
I dig it.
I love
they're
the idea.
people,
The people
that break
that are
their
Inhumans, not the
Inhumans.
show people.
Yes.
Whew, gross.
Ardell says, I think Waverly raises Charlie from the dead.
Ooh, I think Charlie. I think we haven't seen the last of him. I also
don't think so either.
think he's.
I do not. There is no way Charlie is dead. Okay, I'm calling it right now. There's no way that character is dead. They panned on his face. He looked amazing. Okay, he did not look cold and dead. So he's either going to turn into a vampire, which I think was kind of my first
Yeah, I don't think he's turning into
my
a
first instinct, but I don't think he is because he's not behaving that way. But also there's something happened there with Doc's intentions or the witch's intentions, which I feel like is less of a storyline. So that character's not dead. I also don't think that character will ever get back together with Wynonna Earp.
Okay. I definitely thought that he was going to come back when we first saw him laying there in Nicole's arms. But then when she was like, come on, Maeve, come on. And Jeremy's like, Maeve's gone. I assumed that that scene was to tell us he's not coming back. And
Could be.
Right? Like, I thought instead of them letting us wonder, they were like, you know what, we're just going to nip this in the bud real quick.
But when they do that, they
SPR agrees with you.
when they
No
do
way.
that, they cover the face.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, the guy, like in every TV episode ever, they cover the face when they're like, this character's dead. Don't hope for them anymore.
I like this one. Autumn Day in the chat says Julian comes in at the 11th hour to take to take his place.
Agreed. I think Julian's definitely coming in. I think that they can't spend a lot of time on the special effects for an angel, so I think we're going to see just a little bit of him, and he's going to sit on the throne and give his daughter the only attention that he's ever been able to give her his whole life because he's not of this world, which is to sacrifice himself for her.
I'll only allow it if Julian comes in shirtless with wings.
We hope.
Yes.
I hope he
please.
hasn't aged a day.
Oh, yum. Yes.
Yeah. Alice Zilla says Julian will come back and Waverly won't need to sacrifice herself. Yeah, I think Mama Earp and Julian will come back.
Yeah, Mama better come back. Here's why. We spent so much building up to her, and then she was there for like, what, 3 episodes?
hot minute, yeah.
And maybe had they gotten Lucy Lawless, she would have gotten to stay longer, because I know that Lucy Lawless was the dream actor for the role. But I feel like, not that Megan Fellows is not great, but I feel like we didn't get enough of her, so she has to come back.
Yeah, I think so. I think she's definitely coming back, and I think she's a perfect wrench to throw into any episode. Like, I think she's going to come back when we're like, wait, what? And that's her purpose, because I think Doc's going to disappear for a little bit now. I mean, he just like wandered off into the woods confidently, all evil.
You're killing me here.
I mean, does anybody else have predictions about that smile?
I think once you guys pointed it out, I think he's white fanging them.
Yeah.
I hope he's white fanging them. And I don't think Kate is going to work with Bulshar because she's never wanted to work with him in the beginning.
Right,
She was brave enough to stand up to him when she was human. There's no way she's going to work with him.
I don't think so.
Maybe she's going to play double agent.
Yeah.
That's the only way
I can
I'd see
that.
her doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would play double agent, but I wouldn't actually help.
Her and Doc will hatch a plan.
Yeah.
'Cause he already white fanged everybody. And everyone thinks, oh, also, calling it, I was right that she left.
Yeah,
The
you
mom?
were. I know.
No, Kate.
When Kate really left, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, she really did. Like,
She was like,
They're like,
peace
she's
them out.
gone.
And I was like, I think she left. And you were like, nah, she went home. No, she left. So I'm calling it. I finally got one thing right.
You did? You got a prediction
Thank
100%
you.
correct? And we were all like, no, she went home. And you're like, well, I guess I still thought. You're right. You're
Thank
right.
you, guys. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. We had so many amazing people in the chat. Thank you again to Tim
Yay!
for taking the time to
Thank
speak
you.
with us. Next time, I expect cats. Until next episode for the season finale, Amber, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, thanks guys for watching. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram and keep the conversation going at Amber Plaster.
And you guys can follow me online at Kari D Lane. That's KaridLane.
I'm Yael Tygiel. I'm everywhere at Yael Tygiel, YaelTygiel. And on Thursday, I will be at the SVU season premiere for season 20 on AfterBuzz TV's drama channel on YouTube. So check that out. That's why you should subscribe to drama, because SVU, the greatest show of all time. Season 20, that's right. And we'll see you next week!
See ya!
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.